I was 13 when Grand Theft Auto 5 released. I am now 23. After 10 long years, GTA 6 has finally been announced. But unfortunately for me, my patience couldn't endure that time frame. You see, a couple years ago, after beating the game for the millionth time, getting tired of the toxic GTA Online community, and straight up being burnt out, I was desperate for the next release. Really desperate. I was 17 at the time. I had no girlfriend, no friends, and no job. Yeah, I was a fat, lazy little bum, so I spent most of my time gaming. One particular day, I decided enough was enough. I went online to search for information about the GTA 6 release. After scrolling for a while, I found an intriguing article. Proceeding to click the link, I was met with one of those websites where you answer a question, and it takes you to another website. Yeah, one of those, with a bunch of illicit ads. But being the damn retard I was, I didn't notice any of these red flags. Upon reaching this new website, I noticed it stated that it was being produced by an ex-Rockstar Games employee. I then read a little more and noticed that they were also exclusively releasing the game early. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Excitement rushed over me as I got up from my chair to do a little dance. That was short-lived as I quickly ran out of breath. Returning to my chair, I noticed something that wasn't right. The site stated that they would be releasing the first 500 copies for free. Now, even with 3 damn functioning brain cells, I couldn't help but think it sounded too good to be true. But my desperation disregarded that thought shortly after. After putting in my information, including my address, I received a confirmation email. It said that I should be receiving my package in around 3 to 5 business days. Boy, I couldn't wait. For the next few days, I decided to enjoy being outside, since I probably would never touch grass ever again. 2 days later, my parents told me how they were going to be out of town for a little vacation. The kitchen was filled with food, but they still left a note with money on the table in case I needed it. So a couple of days pass and I noticed the game still hasn't been delivered. My patience was wearing thin, but there was nothing I could do about it. I decided to watch a movie that night to keep me busy. Around 45 minutes in, I had to take a piss. Now, for some odd reason, ever since I could remember, I never would turn on the lights when using the bathroom. I don't know why, I just don't. And this time was no different. While washing my hands, I took a look out the window into the backyard. Everything looked normal. I decided to open the window to get some air. It was too dark to see, but I could have sworn I heard the sound of leaves crunching under footsteps. I tried to find the source of the noise, but my eyes rendered nothing. I just assumed it was a stray animal and called it a day. I started to doze off shortly after returning to the movie. I was suddenly woken in the middle of the night by the sound of footsteps, but something was different this time. The footsteps sounds a lot more prominent. I quickly realized that it was because they were coming from inside the house. Fuck, I whispered to myself as I realized I didn't lock the back door. I crept into the hallway to look over the railing. I almost shit myself when I spotted a dark silhouette moving downstairs. The figure was big, like really big. Standing around 6'5" and well over 200 pounds, it had to be a man. I quickly snuck back into my room and locked the door. Rushing for my phone, to my fucking luck, it was dead. I usually always put it on the charger before bed, but I must have forgot when I dozed off to the movie. A bit of my fear was replaced with anger as I couldn't believe the one time I needed my phone charged, it wasn't. But there was no time for complaining. While putting my phone on the charger, the man spoke out.
"Home alone, are you? Well, that's just perfect."
In a voice so deep, I felt the vibration bouncing off my ears. He must have seen the note my parents left. The man was now moving more aggressively, as he had no reason to sneak anymore. My heart rate shot through the fucking roof. It felt like an eternity before the screen on my phone lit up. I had the police on the phone faster than a Karen in a public setting. "There's a man in my house," I whispered shakily. The police officer tried to comfort me as I broke down on the phone. "Does he know where you are?" asked the officer. I told them not yet, but they need to hurry. While the officer was telling me they were sending a car to my location, I could hear the man making his way upstairs. I began to panic and accidentally pulled my phone off the charger. I rushed to put it back on, but it died right before. Then the man said something that shook me to the core. "You really thought you would receive GTA 6 early." The realization of my mistake set in. I couldn't believe how stupid I was. The man was now upstairs, and I could hear him open the door to my parents' bedroom. My room was on the opposite side of the hall, so I had some time. I thought about jumping out the window, but it was just too high up. I would definitely break my legs. I considered fighting the guy off. I was pretty big myself. Although most of it is fat, I was around 6'1", and I did have strength from playing softball when I was younger. Then I remembered I kept an old baseball bat under my bed, even though I haven't played in years. The man was finally making his way towards my door. I quickly grabbed the bat and hid behind where the door would open. I could hear the doorknob jiggle as the man realized it was locked. "I know you're in there," he said menacingly. Tears began to escape my eyes as I had to prepare for what could happen next. A loud bang traveled through the air as the man tried to bust the door open. I was full out sobbing now, as I've never been more scared in my life. Another bang announced itself, but the door stood strong. I could hear the man walk away in frustration. The house was still for a moment, the silence even more dreading than hearing the man. Suddenly, the footsteps were coming back. Fast. He was running. I had no time to think as the door bursted open, hitting me right in the knee. I winced in pain, but stood still. I don't even know how I was able to fit behind the door, but I was very thankful. My room wasn't very big, so you can see pretty much everything from the entrance. The man stood still, scanning for my presence. I held my breath, as he would definitely hear my heavy breathing. He then walked over to the closet, swinging the door open in anger. "Where are you, little shit?" The sound of his voice dropped my heart into my stomach. After looking under the bed, he was about to exit the room when he stopped. He just stood there. I was confused. Suddenly, the door was slammed shut, revealing where I've been hiding. I didn't even give the man a chance as I swung the bat straight to his head, knocking him clean out. I grabbed my phone and sprinted outside. The police showed up soon after. Asking me about the situation in my scarred state, all I could get out was, "Upstairs." They arrested the man and called my parents, but I was still pretty shook. It's been 6 years since this incident took place, and everything was fine, until they announced Grand Theft Auto 6.